Imagine if you got pulled over, and it turns out the cop is not a real cop at all, just a random guy cosplaying as one. So this story starts with this guy, Michael. And Michael is 49 years old, and he's living in Washington State. And apparently, Michael really wants to be a police officer. So much so that he's willing to lie about it. Now, here's the thing though. He can't actually become a police officer because he's actually a convicted felon for some, past crimes he committed. But one day in 2025, that all changes because he gets a job at a security company as a security guard. And he's supposed to work around the local Salvation Army, which is probably a good, steady gig for him. But, he's just a security guard, not a cop. Now, at some point, for whatever reason, he decides he's gonna cosplay as a police officer, like a real police officer. And he gets a fake police badge that looks real, he gets body armor, a tactical vest, he gets SWAT patches sewn onto his clothes, and he also gets an unmarked Ford Explorer with flashing police-looking lights installed and a siren. And so then he just starts cosplaying as a cop. Not just while he's working his security guard job at the Salvation Army, but he'll apparently listen on his police scanner for crimes being reported in the area, and then he'll just show up to the crime scene and act like he's from a neighboring police department, and he'll try to assist the real officers as backup. Like one night, a 7-Eleven employee calls police to come and trespass someone. And I guess Michael hears about this on his police scanner and he just shows up, pretending he's gonna help mediate the situation. And you can see him there on the other officer's body cam. And when he shows up to these places, no one questions it. He looks like a cop, he talks like a cop. Sometimes there are other cops there on the scene and they don't second guess him. And this goes on for months. And I guess people in the area really believe that he's an officer that's in the neighborhood just, keeping it safe and checking things out. But then, finally, it all starts to go wrong. Because one night, local police are out responding to a small fire that was reported in a parking garage. And I guess Michael hears about this report on his police scanner or whatever, but he finds out about it and he decides that he's gonna go play cop and check it out. So he drives over to the scene of the incident, and he pulls up in his unmarked vehicle, and his fake police lights are turned on and everything. And he gets out of his car, and there are other real police officers there, and before any of them say anything, he tells them that he's with Edmonds. Edmonds is a different police department than what these guys are with. And Michael, he's in his full police uniform with his tactical gear and his pistol in his holster, so he looks legit enough to these guys, I guess. But then, some of the officers kind of start feeling a bit skeptical about Michael. I guess by the way he's carrying himself and the way he's responding to things is just not typical of a real officer. So one of these cops at the scene tells him, thank you, but we don't really need your help. So Michael gets back in his fake cop car and he starts to drive back to the Salvation Army, because I guess he's supposed to be at work. But that officer back at the scene is still skeptical about who this random cop was that showed up from another jurisdiction. So he gets in his car and he decides to follow Michael to see where he's going. And he follows him all the way back to the Salvation Army, and he sees that he appears to work security there. So from this body cam footage, it looks like the officer starts chatting with him at one point.
How long have you been detective with Edmonds?
About 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
And after a quick chat, the officer leaves, still feeling a bit skeptical. So then, this officer has a discussion with some of the other officers, and they talk about their interaction with the guy, and they review some of their body cam footage, and they start thinking, yeah, something's definitely off about this cop. Not only that, but one of them calls up Edmonds Police Department and asks them if Michael works there, and of course they say they never heard of him. So these officers are like, this guy's a fake cop, let's go get him. So the next day, an officer shows up to the Salvation Army while Michael is working security, and he pulls him aside because he's got a lot of questions for him.
I was talking to some other guys. So you work for Edmonds PD?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a part-time gig.
Got you. Do you have your commission card with you today?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Now, a commission card is what every police officer would have, so Michael should have one if he were a real cop. So of course he doesn't have one, so now this cop is 100% sure that he's a fraud. But then this other cop pulls up, And with the two cops there, they ask him a very important question.
Is it a loaded firearm that you have with you, Mr. Scaletta?
Correct.
Okay, can you put your hands on the car, please?
And so they detain him, because they had looked up his record, and as I mentioned in the beginning, Michael is actually a felon, and he's not allowed to have a firearm. Now, here's the weird part. At this point, Michael is busted. Game over. They're never going to be able to verify that he's a real cop, because he's not a real cop. But, for whatever reason, he keeps the lie going. Like, he keeps trying to fool these real cops into thinking that they've made a mistake.
Can you call my...
Yeah, we can take care of all that.
Yeah.
What agency did you say you were with?
Edmonds? You with Edmonds. Edmonds, yes.
And these cops just straight up call his bluff.
So we might have called Edmonds last night.
The sheriff?
What?
We might have called Edmonds PD last night.
Yeah.
Not on the payroll.
Say it again?
You're not on the payroll with Edmonds PD.
And even after they call his bluff, he still keeps the lie going.
How long have you been with Edmonds?
Almost 18 months now.
18 months.
Yeah.
And so, no matter what these cops throw at this guy, he keeps trying to just bullshit his way out of it. And he speaks with so much confidence, like I almost believed him.
I worked in the Eastern prison. We all knew what they were doing. We knew what was going on. We knew the beds were there.
So anyway, bam, the officers officially arrest him, and they throw him in the back of the police cruiser. And when they search his car, they see that he has some fake cop gear, but he also has a fake firefighter helmet.
This is insane. Like the shirt is in the plastic. His reflective vest is straight from Gauls.
Yeah, look, he's got a firefighter helmet too.
Jesus Christ, man.
Trying to do it all.
So I guess they're thinking that he has plans to impersonate a fireman as well if he hadn't got caught. Oh, but here's the craziest part. Then one of the officers calls Michael's wife.
I'm so confused right now.
What part is confusing?
This whole thing. I mean, I thought that he went to work last night.
Does he work at Salvation Army?
What?
Does he work at the Salvation Army in Bremerton?
No, he's supposed to be Bremerton Kitsap.
Doing what?
Well, I know he's a reserves police officer. That's what he told me. That's the work he's doing.
So apparently, Michael had also been lying to his own wife about being a police officer. Like, he would leave for his security job every day at the Salvation Army, and he would tell his wife that he's actually going to work on the police force. So, I'm sure that'll be fun for him to sort out when he gets home. And so anyway, here's his mugshot. And as of right now, he hasn't actually been to trial for this yet, and at this point, he has pleaded not guilty to impersonating a police officer. So I guess this is all technically alleged, even though we just saw it on video.